for the culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce, XXV, Double I.
Rome.
D-Malo.
Gruff Lion.
T-Boogie, man.
This is the greatest sports show on the planet. La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
Welcome to another episode, the 46th episode of Gas Presents Sports for the Culture. It feels good to be back. I was off last week. You know who I am, Young Rome 22. You see it in the bottom. I'm gonna let the squad introduce themselves. So we got a good show for y'all tonight. So let's get it popping. Top left.
What up? What up? What up to the folks at home, man? Tuning in. Yo, it's Gruff Lion. It's 10:30. I know what time it is. We about to get in some gas, man. The good old-fashioned, wholesome gas. But yeah, man, let's get it.
All right, top right.
At Bryce, XXV, Double I, a.k.a. Mr. Big Leaguer. Y'all know what they say, man. You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. Next stop is the moon, fellas.
Yes, sir.
I like it. Last but definitely not least, bottom left.
Hey, man. Y'all know what it is with me every week, man. Wash your hands, wash your ass. It's T-Boogie. We got a lot of great stuff for y'all. It's going to be a great episode, man. I love that to the moon. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully some of my stocks go to the moon. My fiscal went up, so I'm feeling good. Hey, let's get this show going, baby.
Bro, it's been like 3 straight red days for me, bro. I'm hurting.
Hey, man. Buy the dips.
Yo, exactly. Smart man. You know what time it is, T.
Yes, sir.
Hey, fellas. Well, we're gonna talk some stocks, but we got a lot to get into today, man. From Nike to some Game of Thrones to the NFL, but we're gonna start in the NBA today, and we're gonna start with the Atlanta Hawks, man, because as we all know, they let go of their head coach Lloyd Pierce. He was fired after a 14-20 start. It was after 3 seasons of pretty much nothing. I don't even think they even won 30 games, man. So let me get your instant reactions to this firing. I'm gonna start with my man Scruff.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I got some familiarity with Lloyd Pierce because he came up under Brett Brown under the Sixers coaching staff. One of the best defensive-minded coaches in the league. Mind you, he had a very terrible team for most of his tenure in Atlanta. I think their team's solid now, but I wouldn't say, he's to blame for their struggles. It's a pretty pitiful team in the first place. And, they were off to a good start. And as soon as they started dipping in the market, they just going to go just sell on my man. So I don't appreciate that. And, I see it as another situation where they're scapegoating a good coach, man, trying to get him out while the stock is low, while they can. All right, bet. Let's get him out of here. Lloyd Pierce, we on to the next one. And apparently Trae Young said he wanted him out. So, that's pretty much the number one call. When a superstar in a pitiful team calls for your name out, that's the end for you, bro. So, unfortunately, that's it for Lloyd Pierce. Hope he ends up in another situation. I doubt he gets another head coaching job, though. Just being real.
T, man, you think that's it for Lloyd Pierce? Can you see him getting another head coaching job, or is this his last tenure?
It's going to be tough. He won't get one right away. Might have to go to college and come back. Might have to take an assistant job and wait it out, be an interim guy for a second. It's going to be tough, man. It's unfortunate. You hate to see a black coach lose his job. You hate to see anybody lose their job. He lost his job. From what I understand, he just had a baby. Like, the child might be 1 week, 2 weeks old at this point. So that's tough to, have a kid come to this world with no job. So my heart just kind of go out to the guy. But the Hawks weren't winning. And sometimes the franchise has to do what's best for a franchise. I don't know if this is what's best for the franchise, but like Scruff said, man, if your superstar's complaining, you're losing games, you got a chance to bring in somebody else or just make a change. Why not? Why not? So while I don't really agree with the timing of the move, it had to be done. There's no secret that Atlanta has a good team, a good young team at least, a building block team where a few tweaks here and there, and they can make a playoff run like we've seen the Knicks currently do right now with a coaching change. So, I don't know, man. Shout out to Lloyd, and hopefully get back on his feet real quick.
Damn, T said it's tough to bring a child in the world with no job, man. Well, hopefully he was listening to the stock advice in the beginning of the show. Bryce, man, what are your thoughts on the Hawks letting my man go?
Yeah, I mean, definitely unfortunate. You don't want to see a good man lose his job ever. Tough that he has a kid, just dropped out, and then now he has no job. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I take a slightly different stance because I don't think he had a lot to work with in Atlanta. I mean, I hear you guys saying Atlanta has a good team. All they need is I don't see that. I don't see a good team in Atlanta. I mean, I see Trae Young, who's a scorer. I mean, who's supposed to score after him? John Collins. I mean, he's a big man. Clint Capella, he's your rim protector. I mean, those are your next two best players. They brought in Bogdanovich, if I'm correct, right over the offseason. Yep. He's been hurt the whole time. My guy Scruff predicting him having an all-star season this year. So that would have helped a lot. They would have had an all-star Bogdanovich on the team, right? He would have never been an all-star, and he wouldn't have helped them that much either. But Lloyd Pierce didn't have a ton to work with, man. They didn't want to make a big-time move. They had John Collins, disgruntled Collins. They've been talking about moving Collins for what? Over a year now, still haven't moved him. That's the type of player you could flip for a second star to go with Trae Young. You could flip him for a veteran. Now you got two guys that can get you buckets every night. But they didn't do that. They decided to stand pat and wait for these guys to develop. All right, if you're going to wait for young guys to develop, you got to wait 5-6 seasons. Like third year Trae Young is not about to lead you to the playoffs by himself. You give him some pieces around him that can change, but I don't think they ever gave Lloyd enough to work with. So we'll never see what Lloyd truly could be as a coach. I think T hit the nail on the head. This guy's going to go back through the ranks now. You know what I mean? It's going to be tough. But if he has a defensive mind that he was billed to be when he left Philly, I'm sure he'll land on his feet. There's a lot of teams out here that need defensive help. My Wizards being one of them for sure.
Bryce, I hear you saying that he didn't have too much to work with, man. But 3 years and their best season, they had 29 wins. So, I mean, like, you got to have some type of results. I mean, we're not saying you got to make the playoffs, but can you give me 30? Can you get to 30 at least one season?
No,
is that too much to ask?
But I guess it's just like, okay, his first year, Trae Young is a rookie, right? So, I mean, you're not going nowhere with rookie anybody. And Trae Young was all they had when he was a rookie. His second season, Trae Young made the All-Star game. Sounds like they were starting to build, right? His third season, they didn't make that splash move to get over the top. If you're not going to make that move to get over the top, don't be mad when I'm doing the same thing with the same guys. I'm doing the same thing with the same roster. You didn't give me no more. I mean, don't get me wrong. Clint Capella, that was a good ad. That's defensive presence, but they need offensive firepower. Teams are keying in on Trae Young. He's still going for 30, but it's a tough 30. It's filled with tough buckets, filled with 40-footers, right? So I just think they should have gave Lloyd a little more to work with, man.
Yeah, I think that's a problem. I think that the Atlanta front office actually thinks that they did a sufficient job this season in providing with a team. That's why they were like, all right, to pull a plug on them. But I disagree. I'm with you, B. Like, I don't think that they gave him legitimate help. Bogdanovich was a nice pickup. That's cute. DeAndre Hunter is getting better. A lot of dudes is on the squad. They got a nice little team, but, they just not really there yet. They don't got the guns to fight. I don't feel like they gave him a fair chance. It's like kind of like when Brett Brown was with the Sixers. They needed to fill him out. When you got a team that bad, you got to cut a dude a little rope, man. Just give him a little rope. You know what I'm saying? But they use that rope to send them out.
So do we think that? Oh, go ahead, T. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, I want to hear what you say because I was going to shift the conversation a little bit.
Oh, I was just going to say, man, at the end of the day, man, the name of the game is you got to win. Like, I don't care what pieces you have, what pieces they give you. Ownership, fans are always going to believe somebody else could have got it done with those same pieces for the most part, especially when you have an all-star like Trae Young with the team. And we don't know how much he was involved with drafting or the makeup of the current roster. For all I know, he could have been telling the GM, like, man, give me this guy and this guy, DeAndre Hunter, draft him, and we can go all the way. And it didn't happen for whatever reason. So, you're not winning. You're not going to be long for any coaching job at any levels.
Yeah,
I tend to agree with
that. Though. He's a dog, though. DeAndre Hunter's a dog. I just want to say that.
But the last thing I wanted to throw to y'all about the Hawks before we move on is his second season was last season. So do we think that the pandemic, the bubble, all that happening, do we think that affected his chances in a negative way? Or
I wouldn't say that, but I do think coaching is just like playing. The same way I was saying you got to give guys 4 or 5 seasons to get nice. Don't y'all think coaches got to get it right? You know what I mean? Like, this guy's a third-year coach. It's not like he came from being a head coach and was put in this position, right? He's never been a head coach. It takes time not just to learn your guys, but also to learn your style of coaching. You know what I mean? Whenever you're talking about a defensive coach, I always have been under like the impression that it takes a defensive coach longer to kind of instill what they're doing, because you really got to get guys to buy in on defense. It's not just drawing up plays, letting guys run sets. You know what I mean? It's not about how creative on drawing up plays you can be. No, it's about how can you get these guys to buy in all the way in. Now, Lloyd was unable to do that, but I think he did show some signs throughout his short tenure of building something. Like I said, Trae Young, second season, all-star. Clint Capella, he been balling this year, bro. Clint Capella's been balling this season. That's their defensive guy, you know. So I don't know, man. I guess, you know, Lloyd's going to take all the blame, and, you know, as that's the nature of coaching. But I do think they didn't give him everything they could have.
That's definitely fair to say. But let's keep it pushing, man. Let's stay in the NBA, though. We're going to do one of my favorite games to play, buy or sell. And it's basically the Eastern Conference edition. We're going to talk Bucks, Knicks, and the Heat. But let's start with the Bucks. And buy or sell the Bucks. Are they fool's gold? Definitely starting with T on this one. Buy or sell on the Bucks.
Oh, man. That's a rough one. That's a rough one. And I went back and forth with this one. But I think at the end of the day, you kind of got to buy it. You kind of got to buy it. Even if the Bucks make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, you kind of know that they won't get it done, you know, from what you've seen in the past. Right now, it's not like they're dominating in the East. They're winning games. They're doing well, but they're not dominating. I still don't like DiVincenzo in the lineup. I'm not sure what they're doing there. So I'm a buy. I like them to be a hard team to get out, but it's just teams that I like a little bit better in the East.
Okay. I'm not too surprised that T's buying there. Bryce, what are your thoughts, man? Buy or sell on the Bucks?
I'm totally opposite, man. I'm selling the Bucks as fool's gold. I mean, how can a team that making runs year after year be considered fool's gold? What? Because they're not winning the championship? Is that the gold we're looking for? Is that the difference? They're 1.5 games out of the first spot right now, right? Last week we talked about well-rounded teams. Everyone was talking about how they love well-rounded teams, and I agree. The Bucks might be one of the most well-rounded teams in the NBA. You got 6 guys scoring in double figures. I mean, Sixers have 5 guys in double figures, and that's the number 1 in the East. Number 2 in the East is the Nets. You know how many guys they've got? They've got 4 guys in double figures. So we talk about well-rounded teams. The Bucks have that. They have different guys that can contribute on a nightly basis. Chris Middleton. Nobody talking about him being snubbed from the All-Star game, but he's having a better season than he had last season. He's distributing at a way higher clip than he is this season. His usage is way up on the offensive end, but nobody's giving him any credit. Listen, the East is a lot tougher. We know that for a fact. The Bucks lost a few key bench rotational pieces. I think it took them some time to get used to that, and now they're getting back hot. I expect the Bucks to be up there when it's all said and done, maybe a game out of first place. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me if they got first place in the East again. Definitely selling the Bucks as fool's gold. Wouldn't be surprised to see them in the finals again. I don't think they'll get past the Nets, but Eastern Conference Finals I expect it. And finals, you know, it's a possibility. If one of the Nets guys go down, the Bucks become my favorites to go to the finals.
They're getting blown out as we speak, so.
Yeah, I mean, NBA,
true.
but they're also a game and a half behind first place right now. And the Sixers started crazy hot. Everybody was just ready to, you know, say they were going to the finals, ready to give MVPs out. And now look, Things have kind of balanced themselves out a little bit, and the Bucks look like they're going to be right back up there once again.
Okay, I think I might have heard a couple shots there. Scruff, definitely weigh in, man. But buy or sell on the Bucks? Are they fool's gold?
Well, I mean, fool's gold. You know, and that's a good. It's a good term. You know, I think that's a good, accurate depiction of them. Fool's gold is pretty accurate. You know, basically what it comes down to is, I don't think they're going to make a serious run. I don't think they could get past. If we're talking about I think they're definitely a top 3 team, because in the East, I think there's only really 3 teams that could actually make some legitimate noise, and we know who they are. They're the Bucks. They're the Sixers. and they're the Nets, but I don't see them coming out of that mix. So in that sense, I agree. I think they are fool's gold because they are just good enough to have you feeling like they can actually win it. I think they'll be in the mix. And Bryce makes a good point. I looked at the standings before the show. Man, it's a close race in the top three. It could go any which way. But I know I've been telling y'all this, man, for as long as we've episode 46. I've been telling y'all 45 episodes ago that Giannis Antetokounmpo is a regular season player only so far, and I'd like to see a little bit more postseason substance on his resume. And until then, it's full gold, my friend. Send it to the pawn shop, homie.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that gets lost in this, man. I really feel this way about the last couple seasons with the Bucks. Like, everybody just wants to point the finger at Giannis. If Giannis can't show he's a postseason player, then they're fools go. So I just kind of made my case for them being a well-rounded team, and it all comes back to everything on Giannis. He's the best player on the team. He's got to be better in the big moments. But I think everyone around him has got to rise to the occasion too. And you get that playoff experience. Y'all know I'm big on playoff experience. I'm very big on that. You get that year after year, you're gonna find a way to get it done eventually. I don't know. I just don't see the Bucks being the Bills of the late '80s, where they just go to the chip every year and just keep taking L's.
All I'll say is, to whom much is given, much is required. And they gave Giannis 2 MVPs back to back after, whatever the situation. So there's a lot required. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, do we actually see the Bucks getting past the Nets or the Sixers in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Absolutely. Maybe not the Nets.
Maybe the Nets.
Maybe
not
the Nets.
I don't think the Nets. I don't think the Nets. I think
the Nets are the team they could beat.
Nah, the Nets are like 9-1 in their last 10. They just found their stride. But I do think if the Nets lose a guy, which it seems like, they be playing musical chairs with somebody sitting out, that opens the door for the Bucks and the Sixers. But if it's the Bucks versus the Sixers 7 games, I'm going Bucks.
Nah, we talking matchups, man. I think the team that they could beat would be the Nets, because Giannis just come in and just start going buck crazy at the rim, all crazy, and they don't got no rim protectors. What they gonna do? They're not gonna do nothing. They're not gonna do nothing. They could lose a couple games like that. DeAndre Jordan could get this sauce.
Didn't you just say that to whom much is given, much is required? So yeah. I mean, Giannis got to show me then. Like, you talking like he gonna beat the Nets? Like,
yeah, but Giannis just got slowed down. He's got slowed down by teams that had interior presences. The Nets have none. So I don't see if Giannis decides to go buck hole at the rim, which he does. That's kind of his game plan. I don't see who on the Nets is really going to stop him. So I don't know. I think the star power is still enough, but come on, bro. He might have a couple of crazy nights.
Is Giannis going to do enough to keep up though? Because
he might drop 50 points or 60 points on him. I don't know.
Nah, I feel different about Giannis.
And he'd have to do it more than once.
And I don't think it's rim protectors that bother Giannis. I think it's pace that has bothered Giannis. I think in the playoffs, man, teams have changed the pace so dramatically on the Bucks. For years, for the last couple years, it was Giannis gets the ball, he's off to the races. Teams found out a way to just kind of slow them down, and it really affected Giannis's play, because a lot of what he does happens in the open court. He's got to become a better half-court basketball player. That's a fact. And honestly, I've seen him become better this season. I mean, I've watched a few Buck games. It looks like he's adjusting to the half-court style of play. So we'll see how it goes.
No, that's for sure. I've seen Giannis develop a little bit more. He's a little more willing to shoot the three. Not a better shooter, but he's willing to take that shot. And just taking that shot helps. I mean, it'll help Ben Simmons too. He should take a little more of those. I think he just hit his second or third one. I think he's right above Shaq now all time a little bit.
Hey, that joint landed in regulation. That joint counts. That's 3 points.
All right, man. Let's keep it pushing on the buy or sell. Up next, we got the Knicks. This is going to be a real interesting one. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this. Are the Knicks back? I'm gonna start with T, man. I got to know your thoughts, man. Are the Knicks back?
No, they're not back. I mean, for me to say you're back, you got to get to the playoffs. I'm selling. You got to get to the playoffs and win a series for me to say you're back. Sneaking in the playoffs after everyone's coming off of this COVID off season. I'm not buying it. So I like what they're trying to do. Tibbs is a hell of a coach. He's got these young guys playing good. He's got rotations he wants. He's got a guy like Quickly coming off the bench. I mean, I like what the Knicks have, but they're not back. This is not must-watch TV. Julius Randle is playing out of his mind. It's cool to see him break out, but Knicks are not back, man. Who are they beating in the playoffs? Who? They still the second best team in New York.
That's also fact.
So,
Hey, Scruff, buy or sell, man? Are the Knicks back?
Well, based on the way you asked me the question, are they back? Back meaning only as back. You can only be as far back as you already were. So, like, you know, at the best, the Knicks were maybe a perennial team that would be in the playoffs, would be fighting, would be making things interesting. You know what I'm saying? They're a real fighters team. You know what I'm saying? They've never been a dynasty. So with that being said, yeah, they are back. 4 seed right now. They are 18-17 in the Eastern Conference. Don't take much in the Eastern Conference. A 500 record will get you a 4 or 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. So that's cool, man. Entertainment for me is cool. There is value in entertainment. An entertaining series would be the Knicks versus the Celtics right now in the first round. In which I would, again, I agree with T in the sense that I would put my money on the Celtics. But hey, it's entertaining. It's good basketball. Are the Knicks back? Yes. They're entertaining us. They are holding their value of which the Garden should be holding, finally giving me some productive basketball. I'm enjoying it. I like Emmanuel Quickly. I like Tom Thibodeau. I like what he's doing, man. I like a lot of what I'm seeing over there.
Bro, you just said they're playing 500 basketball, and that's what the Garden should be. Like, that's not good enough for the Garden. 500 basketball isn't good enough for the Garden. 18-18 out here. Come on.
Bro, playoff basketball, having a playoff game, that's something. That's something to be happy about.
First round playoff game, nah. We're talking about the Garden. Come on. Bryce, buy or sell, man. Are the Knicks back?
Hey, man, my man Scruff
in the Garden. What are you talking about?
My man Scruff started off super strong with that point, man. He said you can only go as far back as you've been, and then he just went left. You my guy, though, Scruff. Hey, look, all I'm saying is in 2012, man, my guy Melo, the original Melo, the only Melo, had the Knicks, 54-28, you know what I mean? First seed in the East. It was balling just in 2012. Okay, about 9 years ago now. But how can I say a team is back if they haven't got back to where they once were? Now, the Knicks are a hell of a story, man. Hell of a story this season. Thibodeau is the best defensive coach in the NBA. They bring it every week, every day, every night on defense. They bring it. Julius Randle is balling, like you guys just said. Julius Randle going out of control. Just like every other player that got traded from the Lakers. I mean, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ballin. I don't know, man. It's like you get traded from the Lakers, you're probably gonna be nice. But I can't say they back, because what are they back to? I mean, like Rome just said, 500 basketball. That means in 2 weeks they could be in the 8th seed. Hey, three L's and they out the playoffs. If you got 3 L's and you out the playoffs, you're not back to nothing. You just the same. You're just a little better than the same, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes for him. Shout out to Tibbs, though. Got them boys back on track. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out for him, because like I said, man, they could be one of those teams, 5 straight L's. They're going to losing streak. Now look, they're in the 10th seed.
Hey, all
Bryce,
I'll say is
you said it, Bryce. They're back on track. They're not back. They're back on track. That's about it. Go ahead, Scruff. I'm definitely selling on this, though.
I just want to say that before the season started, and just like this is how I play the game. I said before the season started that I thought the Knicks were going to be a team to watch, man. So I already bought the stock early, bro. I got in at the penny stages. So we in off profit at all this point, man. It's all good.
Sell on the dip, bro. Sell on the dip.
I'm still in. I'm holding. I'm not selling yet. I'm still holding. I like the Knicks, man. I like the Knicks. I like the culture. I like what's going on. 7 last 10 games.
The Knicks honestly are probably about 2-3 years away from being in any serious conversations. I mean, Quickly, Barrett, Toppin, Randall. You add one more piece to that, another maybe a veteran perimeter guy, and you have a legit squad, especially in the East. But I mean, as it stands, like you said, man, I can't see them getting past a lot of other teams in the East. and you're really a couple games out of not being in the playoffs. It's too early to say back. It's too early. It's a cool story because everyone likes the Knicks, it's the Mecca, it's the Garden. But nah, you're not back, man. Get out of here. Spike Lee ain't back. The Knicks ain't back.
From one team
they
that might
undefeated
go.
since Bobby came home. That's all I know. They didn't get my man courtside. They didn't get my man courtside considerations. Let me get. Oh, I'm about to say. I'm about to say. I'm
lost tonight, man. Trey Lyles being 18.
I'm about to start the Bobby Smurda courtside campaign, baby. We need to give him Spike Lee preferential treatment. Ever since he came home, they went in off the chain, bro. First loss though since he came home. I'm just saying.
Hey, maybe that's meaningful, man. Hey, from one team that needs to go on a run come playoff time to another team that needs to go on a run come playoff time, let's talk about the Heat. Buy or sell? Can the Heat make a run? Scruff, what you got? Buy or sell?
This is a firm no for me, dog. I don't see it, bro. I don't see it, man. Like I said, man, the East, 500 basketball gets you to the 5th seed in the East. And apparently the 5th seed is all they needed or whatever, more or less, to make it to the finals. But nah, I don't see it. If the Heat make a run to the finals, then literally everybody in the East was literally just sleep. Everybody. 3 superstars sleep on the Nets. Nah. Joel Embiid playing like this, but Doc Rivers, you got the coaching, got all the pieces together. They gonna be sleeping? Nah. Giannis gonna be asleep too? Nah, definitely not.
All right, Bryce, is everybody gonna be awake for the playoffs, or do you think the Heat are gonna make a run? Buy or sell on that?
Yeah, man, like that situation I kind of described earlier with the Hawks where they didn't make enough moves to get over the top. I feel like the Heat kind of in the same situation. I feel like this should say the Heat can make a run if. This should be an open-ended question because I feel like there's some things the Heat can still do if they're really serious about the run. Now you would put your future in jeopardy, you know what I mean? Because you got a couple young dogs that you would have to get rid of. If you really want to make the run, you probably have to get rid of a hero, get rid of a Duncan Robinson. But I gotta sell it. I gotta sell it, man. They just didn't bring enough to help with Jimmy Butler, man. And but I do think there's been some rumblings of them making a move for Oladipo. You know, maybe another. They've always been linked to Brad Beal for like 2 years now. So if they could somehow finesse a move like that, where they could, you know, get one of these, you know, a top of the line scorer to add on to Jimmy Butler, kind of mask his deficiencies a little bit. I think they could make a run, but as currently constructed, I got to sell that.
Okay. T, buy or sell? Can the Heat make a run, man? Does Jimmy have it in him?
Let's just say I'm buying this. I'm buying it. When you got a guy like Jimmy Butler that can will you to wins, you got a dog, you always have a shot. When you got a guy that's willing to put the team on his back, you always have a shot. Do they have to make a few moves? Probably. But they do have the pieces. You probably want to hold on to Hero, but you can get rid of Kendrick Nunn. You can certainly try to move Dragic or Olynyk. You got a couple pieces that somebody might be interested in. You got free agents out there, Boogie. You could try to bring in Boogie to help. But, I just think Butler has been hurt. He came back. Last 2 weeks, he's been playing out of his mind, almost averaging a triple-double. Tyler Hero's been hurt. He's back. Dragic was hurt. They had Crowder last year. They got rid of Crowder, brought in Mo Harkless. I don't even know if he's played a game. So they haven't been constructed the way that they thought they were, you know, because everyone hasn't been here. But it's the beginning of the season, first half of the season. Second half, they could all, you know what I'm saying, assemble like Voltron and get busy. You know what I'm saying? Make another run. I don't count those boys out.
I tend to agree with T. Jimmy can definitely will you to some wins, and you definitely can't count them out. But I mean, looking at it, man, they're behind the 8 ball, so to speak. So if they do go on a run, it would be stuff of legend. But I can't buy that. I wouldn't put my money on it, so I got to sell on that one.
I mean, I feel you. I mean, they lost to Atlanta tonight for context. So
they got to get it together.
Right now, it's not all working, but they can get it right.
Voltron's looking like a Power Ranger jump right now, man. They gonna have to get it together, bro.
Hey, the Power Ranger, the Megazord used to take a beating, but in the end, you knew what he was going to do. He always, took an L early, but he was, that's the Heat right now. They get beat on.
That's because the Megazord's villains wasn't about nothing, boy. Megazord was just, it was like the Megazord couldn't get no real villain, bro. That used to be crazy. All the Power Rangers, though, man. We grew up on that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm gonna just shift it to what we grew up on. Period. You know what I'm saying? Get off basketball for a second. I know everybody's heard about this story by now. Had to hear about this story by now. It's all over every mainstream media. It's all over every social media. We got Joe Herbert from West Coast Styles or something. I don't know, man. And the reseller, basically, young kid sitting on piles and piles of Nike. You go to his IG, man, it's disgusting, man. It's obscene how many pairs of off-whites he has, how many pairs of 350s he has. Like, it's crazy. And if you like me out there, you probably had a love for sneakers. I'm a self-proclaimed sneakerhead. But I haven't been as much lately, and it's because of this guy and guys like him and these resellers. And it's one thing to buy the box, but this guy had a secret plug, man. You know all resellers got a plug. This guy's mom is a VP at Nike, a VP over North America, almost directly responsible for Nike's direct-to-consumer online retail. It's like the guy is on the opposite team. I mean, this is like drug game, The Wire type stuff we're talking about here. It's like the daggone government working with the criminals to fleece the public. It's crazy, man. I know y'all heard about this story, man. This guy was using his mom's corporate card to run his business and pretty much ensure that he secured every drop. He's making about $20,000 a month. And the little guys, the guys that just want to rock the kicks, like, we couldn't do it. I'm passionate about it. That's why I spoke so long about it, man. But how do y'all feel?
Man, honestly, there's a lot to dissect within the story. I mean, the first thing to dissect is there's so many things to dissect. But first thing to dissect is so basically the kid was basically already kind of like, I'm gonna use the term cloud chasing. He was jumping around, like basically posting pics with like tons of like, boxes, like OD amounts of boxes. It's obviously that you're plugged in, you're wholesaling like bulk. Not a good look, man. Not a good look, man. And then, he did this story that he leaked. I know that came out, and basically he talking about a credit card he was using. Turned out the credit card he was using was his mom's credit card. So now, here's where it gets deep. Like this aforementioned credit card, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, now they start looking into her. Now it's vulnerable. Now Nike makes a statement. Basically, the statement is basically saying that she resigned. This is like literally, like you said, some wire stuff, because they like, look, yo, all right, we know what you're doing. We done seen the whole deal. We done looked into you. We just need you to resign. Sign the paper. Just get out of here. That's nothing else. A little PR statement, real funny. So the thing is, I guess plausible deniability is still there for her, because maybe she did not know about the son's activity, right? Yeah, young bull, take the credit card. That could happen all the time. I'm sure it's very common, actually. Common enough. Right now, she has plausible deniability. But I don't know. I smell a little foul play. So I'm not certain that the mom didn't know, because he had the credit card all this time. And like, for him to be having this amount of sneakers, you know what I'm saying? The amount of sneakers that he had, bro, ain't no mother in the world. Ain't no mother in the world, bro. Not gonna see it, bro. Not gonna see it. Like, what you doing with all this stuff, bro? Like, you start bringing home a whole bunch of stuff, but your mom's gonna know, bro. Mom's gonna know. And this is a kid. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? Not like he got his own crib or nothing. I'm talking about like enough boxes that would fill up this whole room and another room. You know what I'm saying? Like, ridiculous amount of boxes, bro. So like, it's pretty crazy. It's a super wild story. But I don't knock the kid. I knock the mom a little bit. I don't know who to knock here, but it's somebody. It's some foul play going on for sure. Nike tried to cover their tracks, and I don't blame Nike. And I don't even blame the kid, man. Honestly, I see I see some strong personality traits in the kid, man. He's industrious, he's resourceful. He fouled up using his mom's credit card, but I'm seeing the makings of a young entrepreneur. He's not using his own money. That's got entrepreneur written all over it, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm liking what I'm seeing with the kid, but obviously it's a shame if he had the inside and he was playing the game to their advantage. But it's not the first time that somebody in business will use a competitive advantage to their advantage, right? So who knows how much money they've made? My guess is a lot. If the mom was in on it too, then hopefully she's been compensated for this unfortunate circumstances that happened to her, because now she got caught up. But my biggest takeaway for this whole situation is for the kid. The kid, you played the game wrong, son. Like, if you're going to have a plug with the Nike Connect, that's great. Your mom's the Connect. You live in Beaverton, Ohio. Nike headquarters in Beaverton, Ohio. That's a very interesting circumstance. So it works out. But don't be posting a whole bunch of stuff over on your Instagram and everything, because then you're going to get caught up, bro. And that's what happened. Now you're caught up. Now your mom's caught up. Now your whole operation, donezo. You blew the bag, man. Like, that's the biggest thing. He fumbled the bag, bro. And that's the most disappointing thing about the whole story. Kid fumbled the bag, man, and the sneaker reseller game, it is what it is. I'm not mad at folks for getting the buck. They make it such a high demand that there's so much demand that people can profit from demand. I'm not mad, because that's what an entrepreneur spirit comes from. Any opportunity that's given to them, an entrepreneur will find it, and they'll find a way to make some money within the middle. So I'm not mad at anything involved with that situation, but I'm mad at the kid for blowing the bag. He blew it.
All right, let me jump in real quick. So, Scruff, you said you don't know who to knock. Let me tell you who to knock. You definitely got to knock the mom, and you definitely got to knock the son. What you can't knock is the hustle, and you alluded to that. I'm definitely not going to knock the hustle. I got a quote from a man, young 19-year-old Joe Herbert, a.k.a. West Coast Joe. This is a direct quote from a man from the report from Bloomberg Business Week. If you know the right people in this city, this is the city to sell shoes. My man knew exactly what he was doing. My man was definitely, he didn't fumble the bag. I mean, he might have fumbled the future bag, but he definitely got what he was trying to get for damn sure. He's on Instagram. Forgot his Instagram handle, but he's looking fly. He's got all the shoes. Like, he's got a fort worth of shoes, bro. Like, if you were having a snowball fight with this man, you'd have to throw them joints over the boxes of shoes, bro. Like, dude is stacked, bro. I think he's gonna be straight. Really, what he did was mess it up for his mom. Like, your mom is out of a job now because you wanted to have your little side hustle and be popping on Instagram. You know what I mean? You want to be like a little Jake Paul type of dude. But that's my takeaway from it. It's just some spoiled people, certain type of people that have life a certain way, and they can get away with these kind of things. But who knows what's gonna happen? To me, the whole thing is fishy. I think somebody needs to get some type of jail time, punishment, something for this. Doesn't make much sense. Your mom's the VP of Nike, and you're just profiting. I heard what they did was him and his boys had like bots. So when the drops happened, they had all the bots basically just hold up all the sales so that they could get all the sales. Nobody gets the shoe, and you resell the shoe for double the price. So I mean, like I said, you can't knock the hustle, but you damn sure can knock the people doing it.
Hey, I gotta agree, man. I heard Scrub saying he was wondering if he was sneaking the credit card behind his mom's back, and I was thinking, damn, but don't his mom got a bank statement? And then I thought a little bit further. I thought a little bit further, and I realized the hustle of my own, fellas. Back in the day, man, I think I was about, I don't know, maybe 13, 14. This is when Xbox was at its peak. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I grabbed my mom's credit card. I went ahead and put my Xbox Live membership on there. And, I was sure eventually she was going to catch me. But, bro, I don't know, man. I guess some of these credit card statements are a little different. I see everything on my statement. But, bro, she literally caught me as a grown man, bro. I was on my mom's credit card with my Xbox Live till I was like 24, 25 years old, man. So, you can sneak them through the credit card if you slick with it. But I do think that this is just a crazy situation, man. Going back to my mom one more time. When I was a kid, I told you fellas this. When I was a kid, my mom, she worked at the doctor's office, right? I never had to pay to go to the doctor. This dude shouldn't have to pay for the Nikes. You feel me? I feel him with that. Use your connections. End of the day, man, that's what this world is about. Everybody always says it's about who you know. Don't be mad at my man because his mama is running Nike. I ain't mad at him. You know what? I ain't mad at nobody involved, man. Get it how you live. Just serve your time when it comes down the hatch, man. Just serve it with pride. Wear it with your chest.
Man, look, the mom's in on it. The mom's in on it. Look, at first, early in the day, I really wasn't too upset at the kid. I mean, he was exerting his privilege. He saw opportunity. He seized it. But he clout chased. And it's a lesson to this generation because when your mom's the guy, the top woman at Nike, you can just get the kicks and put them on your IG and people will know you for just being a guy that has nice shoes. But you want to be known as the guy that has all the shoes. You want to be known
West
as the
Coast
plug.
Joe.
And what's even more frustrating is like everybody has always felt like Nike was in cahoots with the resale market because to be honest with you, reselling and fakes help the demand. You know what I'm saying? When you see people wearing these shoes and they're super exclusive and they're posting pictures, this generation is all about imagery, content, the FOMO, man. The FOMO. Look at that. Bryce just went to cop some kicks. But
he got his connect, West Coast Joe, hooking us up.
It's crazy. Like, so from what I understand, once I did further reading, because I was frustrated. If you follow me on Twitter, before this story broke, I saw a tweet about how frustrating the sneakers app was, and I said I uninstalled it, and which I did. But it's just like, come on, man. This guy, they say his dad actually started the LLC for him before he was old enough to.
Oh, wow.
So the whole family's in on this thing. She got to resign. From what I understand, Nike knew he was reselling and it wasn't a crime, but they also fire their lower employees if they're even connected to reselling, man. This guy's the #1 most hated guy in the sneaker community right now. And just a few weeks ago was Marcus Jordan. I don't know if y'all up on that story about Marcus Jordan and the Trophy Room ones, but basically Marcus Jordan had a collab with Jordan. You're already an insider. And instead of releasing the shoes, he sold them all for like $1,000 a pair to resellers. So it's like everybody's feeding the resellers and the people that just want to rock kicks, people that just want to wear kicks, the people that just are passionate about shoes. They can't get them. I thought something was strange when I lost every Nike raffle. I lost every Nike drawing. But I would hit on Yeezys for some reason. I'm thinking some of these shoes have similar demands. I'm not even trying to get off-white. You know what I'm saying? I just want a regular pair of Jordans sometimes. Nothing. But I can get Yeezys, similar demand. So we know Nike. We know Adidas. We know these big boys are. They're all in the same group. They're all together, man. So I don't know. It's just a crazy story. And it's frustrating when you do everything right and you still lose. Still take that L, man.
Quick takes, fellas. Like, is the resale game killing the sneaker game?
No, that's the craziest part.
That's a good
the
question.
resale game has increased the value of the sneaker game. It's only killing the sneaker game for the average kid, the average mom and dad.
Is it killing? Is it taking the actual love of the sneakers away? Because it almost seems like you're making excellent points about people just doing it for the clout, doing it for the quick bread. I know because we've had topics about favorite Jordans and whatnot. Like,
right.
is the actual love of the shoe like fading away all for the quick resale?
Absolutely,
no,
Rome is
absolutely not.
100% right now, bro. Listen, hear me out. Most of these people buying these shoes have no clue about the history behind them, bro. Like, most of these people don't care about the history behind these shoes, man. Like, when I was standing in line for hours in the cold on Christmas for the Jays, the day before Christmas, they can't relate. They didn't care that much. You know how much they cared? They cared enough to click a button. That's not a lot of care, bro. That's not a lot of care, bro. And now we're down to a point where if you don't have it, right? Rome spoke earlier about people who aren't, it's privileged. These people were privileged, right? If you don't have the privilege, you can't spend $600 on some resale pair of shoes. That takes you totally out the game. So now you're ruining a whole nother generation of kids, of young people who would have been all in the shoe game. You know what I mean? Like, hey, when I was a young boy, everything was 160. 160, maybe 200. If it hit 200, You knew it was something fire if it hit 200, but everything was 160, and that meant everybody had a shot at it. Everybody, it don't matter if you was the richest or if you was the brokest. You was waiting outside in that line in the cold, man. And I don't know, man. The sneaker game has changed so much to me that I'm not even pressed to cop anymore. I was one of those guys. I always cop.
Nah, see, you thinking about it as a sneaker owner, you know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about the shoe game, yeah. But then you got to think about it from the business perspective.
I'm not thinking about it from Nike's point of view. They're already millionaires.
No.
We think about it from Nike's point of view. We're gonna do the same thing that this kid and his mom did.
Nike's making the same money they always made, but now there's a whole nother market in between that where people are taking advantage of the market. And what it does is it only drives up the demands. It creates more hype. It builds hype. It adds to the hype of the market. I'm not mad at somebody finding an in-between of finding a way to get extra money. Now, does it hurt the consumer that just wants to generally jump in and try to get a sneaker? Yeah, it makes it a little harder for us. But I think it makes more hype, more demand, and it's supply and demand. The supply is limited. Somebody didn't try to find a way to try to get on their supply, whatever. People are going to do what they can to take advantage. That's just business, bro. So, I'm not mad at it. But it definitely makes it hotter.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the resellers, man. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm with everybody doing it. But if we're asking the question, like, is it ruining, like, the shoe game, the game that was collecting shoes? Not the business. The business is at an all-time high. That's you can't debate that. But I'm talking about the culture, bro. I'm talking about the culture of being a sneakerhead, like Tim said. Like, the culture of being a sneakerhead is, to me, it's going down the drain, bro. And the reason I feel this way, and maybe it's, real personal, real, self-centered way of thinking about this. But it's because I know if I, as someone that was more than an avid shoe collector, bro, I know if I have fallen off to the point where I don't care when I see releases of stuff that's hot. Like, I know there's a lot more people like me who have just gotten tired of the culture, of the way the culture has evolved, man. There was a time where if you had a certain pair of kicks on your feet, it's because you went to 5, 6, 7 stores to go find them jumps. You know what I mean? Now, you got a certain pair of kicks on your feet. It just means that you were the lucky guy in an internet raffle. I don't know, man. I think it's killing the culture, but to each his own.
No, I don't know, man. It's not, to me, like Scruff said, supply and demand. It's the fear of missing out. It's wanting what you can't have, man. Like, that's what we know as a culture. Those limited edition, why do you think they put that on stuff, man? Even if it's not limited, they say limited edition, people are like, oh, you feel special. So you hit on a raffle, at this point, man, you feel like a chosen one. You know what I'm saying? Your whole day, you hit on that 10 a.m. raffle, your whole weekend good. Like, oh my gosh, you feel like God looked down upon you and smiled. Like, that's how serious it is, man. You take that L, man, you want to throw your phone, you want to throw your laptop, you want to throw your iPad, you done tried on 8 different devices. But that's the equivalent of our day of standing in line. And they just say no. Because that happened to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been a group of haves and a group of have-nots. More often than not, I've been a half, so I've been lucky. But I've definitely stood in line for hours. Then number two, the store opens. My man says, "What's your size?" I say 13. He says, "Yeah, sold out." How?
Oh boy,
backdooring, reselling. This has always been a thing. But as technology evolved, the culture evolved, people have gotten smarter. So now, instead of your man working at Foot Locker getting you the shoe, which is still a little bit of a thing, you figured out how to get a bot. I know a reseller. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little hypocritical, but you do what it takes to get the kicks. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people that still have that love, that passion, that drive. They're not standing outside in the rain. They're spending hours researching how to build computer AI to VPN to Foot Locker's website. But
they're not doing that for the love of the game. They're not doing that for the love of the kicks. Like, I get what you're saying. It has changed. But those people are not doing it for the love of the shoe. You know what? I guarantee you that 55 to 60% of resellers don't give a damn about the shoes. They probably don't even know the legacy. They don't care. They're so busy to make the bot for the bag. This is what I'm saying.
That's what makes them entrepreneurs. That's what makes them entrepreneurs. They saw the opportunity.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm talking about the culture of just like being a sneakerhead, bro. It's done. Yo, when I was probably maybe what were we, 19, bro. The French blue, this is the end of me being a sneakerhead. The French blue 13s dropped. Oh, I had to have them. It wasn't a question, right? Stood in line all day. Got to the front. Yeah, let me get 11 and a half. Dude looked at me. We out of 11 and a half. I got a 10 though. I took the 10. I took the 10, bro. I squeezed my foot into the 10 because I was about that life. And guess what? My foot formed that shoe. I wore that dope for years after. I took it, bro, because that's how serious I was about having these kicks on my feet. It's changed so much. I'm out the game, fellas. I'm out. I hung my jersey in the rafters, man. Put me in the fame. I'm done with it.
Nah, man, you can't be done with it, man. I mean, what I do now is if I get the shoe, I get the shoe. I try not to get my hopes up. But I know I don't have that same determination and drive I had as a kid to stand in line because I can get online and buy a buy. Obviously, if you can afford 2 or 3 pairs of the shoes, you can afford a buy to get you 3 or 4 more pairs of the shoes. But it's just an age thing for me. I think them young kids out there, they doing what it takes. I'm not knocking anybody's hustle. I'm not knocking anybody's love. I will just say it's a little bit harder for the average mom or dad to supply their son or daughter with, a particular Jordan, particular shoe.
You ain't getting it from me. That's all I know. I mean, you ain't getting it from me because I'm not paying the surplus. Period.
Right. And that's one of my rules. I don't pay above retail. So, I mean.
Hey, that's really how it's been killed then. Like, let me ask you this. Do you think West Coast Joe gave a damn about any of those shoes that he got?
I mean, he was hugged up on them pretty hard. He probably likes them.
No, I think he liked the attention, man. It's something I'm starting to see with the younger generation, but it's trickling over to the older generations. I see it on Facebook now, and I'm rarely on Facebook. People are choosing attention dollars over real dollars. You see people at work doing TikTok dances, getting fired. Somehow attention became more valuable than actual currency. You know what I'm saying? You could give me some Bitcoin before you give me attention. I'd be more happy with the Bitcoin. But
hey, when attention starts paying my bills, I'll start dancing on TikTok and all that too. So
you might have to start dancing first before to pay your bills.
Hey T, you hit the nail on the head though, bro. That last line you dropped could be used to describe the sneaker game, man. It's all about attention dollars. It's not about the real no more. It's not about the real, son. I'm out.
Hey, wear fakes. I recommend this. I don't do it personally. Hey, but rock the
Oh no, the way you said that with some conviction, like everything you got is fake.
Nah, my shoes too old to be fake. But like
everything OG.
Man, I got probably 30, 40 kits. But that I still have at least. But yeah, wear fakes. Like that's another aspect of this. You know what I'm saying? The fake game, the fakes are so close to the real shoe now, it don't even matter.
Hey,
the fake is so fake it's real.
All opinions expressed by T Boogie are that of T Boogie and T Boogie alone, man. You're not hearing me telling you to go buy no fakes. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Right.
I'm gonna
don't do that.
I'm gonna spot that thread. I'm gonna spot that missing thread on that. Whoa. You missing some thread on them Yeezys, bro.
Nah, you been out the game too long, man. Them fakes, they be off by half a millimeter now. Like you can't eyeball it. You need serial numbers on boxes, that sort of thing.
I don't know. The glue on that sole, man, it's running a little over, man. I don't know.
Look, I'm still in the shoe game a little bit. I'm trying to tell you, the fake game is worse than the resale game. Trust me.
I believe it.
Some of your
shout out to China.
Stepping on your carpet in their fakes.
How much do the fakes go for? That's what I want to know now.
If I know people that have bought fakes not knowingly, but for retail, they think that they're getting a limited shoe for the retail price, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? But you can get a good fake for 120, 110, 90.
90.
Yeah. I don't believe in that.
The price is how you know it's fake.
Retail, but I'm not knocking anybody at this point with shoes because of the people like West Coast Joe.
That's real.
That's facts.
The only thing I will say though, I gotta add this in, man. These hilarious. These fakes didn't just start, man. Back in the day they had the fakes too. You just had to drive to the flea market Man, around here it was called
to
potassium,
get
man.
to get the SpongeBob on your Dub Zeros.
You got the
Oh,
SpongeBob
not
with
the
the Dub
SpongeBob,
Zero.
not the SpongeBob
Hey,
though.
hey, bro, you know how I feel about the Dub Zeros too.
If you wanted this man on your Dub Zeros,
but they was putting the SpongeBob on everything, bro. You had to have
man,
you had to have the gangster SpongeBob T-shirt to match it,
SpongeBob and
hey,
Bugs Bunny,
that's a
man.
different generation they never know about.
bro. If you ain't never had a shirt with SpongeBob holding the gun, we not from the same era.
Hey, that outfit was the original Black Air Force outfit.
It was.
Oh, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. That was a whole era right there. You had the gangster Looney Tunes, man. Stuff was wild.
Warner Brother.
Yeah, man, that's a DMV staple, man. You have a gun toting Yosemite Sam or something.
Joe was oversized as hell.
Man, what an era. What an era, man. Speaking of eras, though, it seems like we moved on to a new era with one of the best. I'm just going to say it, one of the best NFL players of our generation. You know, and it's JJ Watt, and JJ Watt has moved on to the Arizona Cardinals. Big news, if you ask me, because I think JJ Watt is good enough to really turn around a team's fortunes, at least on the defensive side of the football. But I got to get the reactions of the fellas, man. What was you guys' instant reaction before we get into the particulars? What was your instant reaction about JJ Watt headed to the Cardinals? Scrub, I'm starting with you.
I mean, I was confused because my first reaction was that JJ Watt said he wanted to go to a contender. So I was just trying to add it up, and I just don't see it. So I was just confused because I'm like, I thought you wanted to go to a contender. The Cardinals, I don't know. I don't think they're a contender. They look more serviceable for sure. I think they can make the playoffs, but I don't know. But if you squint at it hard enough, maybe you kind of see a contender. So I see. He's got if that's what he's thinking, he's got a lot of vision.
That's a good point. That's a good point, man. I mean, contender. We know in the NFL it only takes one thing to go your way to be a contender, or one thing to go the opposite way for you to be out of contention. So I mean, I feel you though. On paper, it's like they only got one more piece. How much of a contender does this make them? I will say though, JJ Watt's reuniting with his guy Vance Joseph. That was his, one of his assistants in Houston when he was with the Texans, and that's when he had his best season. His best season by far was under Vance Joseph. So I'm thinking that's the connection. Everybody's trying to give DeAndre Hopkins all the credit, but I think it's the Vance Joseph connection. Ron, what you think, man?
My instant reaction to it was DeAndre Hopkins got free from Houston. JJ Watt got up out of Houston, and Deshaun Watson is still stuck in Houston, man. Free four.
Man, free four, man.
Hey,
I don't know, bro. We got a crazy D line in Arizona right now, bro. You got Watt, Chandler Jones. I know you rock with Chandler Jones, Ron. Watt, Chandler Jones, Hassan Reddick came on last year. Instant reactions, man.
Scruff said it, man. He was trying to add it up. So was JJ Watt, man. He was trying to run up that bag. He don't care about winning. That's an 8-win team, man. Do you think JJ Watt is worth another 3 wins? I don't. How many was he worth to Houston? So I think he was bag chasing. I know he texted Kyler and said something like, "I believe in you. That's why I'm here." Stop the lies, bro. You came to chase that bag. Like my man said, people go to Florida and Arizona to retire. I mean, if I remember correctly, didn't Girls Gone Wild start in Arizona State or something like that? One of them schools out there. Like that's a great place for a guy like JJ to retire. So that's all it was. And maybe when you're bringing in elite quarterbacks like Matt Stafford, you need to bring in a JJ Watt. That's not the take. You know what I'm saying? That's not the take. He has to retire at some point. He knows he's at the end of his career. He might have one good season left in him, but he took the money. Well, from what I understand, a couple other teams wanted him. They said the Titans wanted him at a similar price tag. You're not going to Tennessee over Arizona. The Colts wanted him. If you really wanted to chase a ring, Colts would have been a decent chance, a better chance than the Cardinals. He wanted the money, man. All the teams that wanted him were probably Cleveland. Terrible places to live. You know what I'm saying? If you're from Cleveland, hold your head. Like you can always relocate at some point. And terrible place to live, though. So he chose a good spot to retire. Not too far from Vegas, not too far from Hollywood, and you got away from the Texans. That's a win in my book. Even if you don't get a ring, you just want a ring in life.
I feel that. And you making good points, man. You making good points, but dang, you don't think? I don't know. I feel like the JJ slander is kind of real today, man. To me, JJ Watt is top 5 football players over the last 10 years. I mean, it's almost like automatic to call him that. This guy's been, to me, I don't think the only defensive player I can say has been better in this time is Aaron Donald, and he kind of just came on, in the last few years. JJ Watt, man, I feel like y'all criminally underrated him. He's only 31 years old. He's 31. We know defensive linemen especially can extend their career. Like, look at Calais Campbell. How old is that guy? He just had his best season a year or two ago, right? Defensive players, defensive linemen have a way of extending their shelf life if they are elite. And I do believe JJ Watt is elite. And I do believe that JJ Watt being on the Cardinals gives them about, +2, maybe 3 wins. I'm not going to just point at this Texan situation because Deshaun Watson can even give them a few extra wins. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take a lot for the Texans to turn around. But you throw them on a team like the Cardinals, team that already got a ready-made defensive line, JJ could be that missing piece, man. JJ could be that missing piece. I don't know.
And
I guess the next.
Bro, the last 5 years, JJ Watt has played 3 seasons of 8 games. Like, we don't even know if he can hold up. I feel like he played last year hurt too. I think he had a hurt arm, shoulder, or something. You rolling the dice on him. I don't know how you can count JJ Watt as this dependable piece on this playoff run with with Kyler Murray. I don't see it.
All right, let me jump back in here because I can't think of a time a player came to the NFC West and we heard my man T sing their praises ever. Anytime a player drops into the NFC West, they're washed up, this guy's he's past his prime, all this. Look, JJ don't even got to be all that on the Cardinals. He just has to be a piece to improve them. Like Bryce already said, the defensive line is already ready-made. They got a solid defense. If they can start stopping people, Kyler Murray is still a threat. I mean, you guys tell me that all the time on the show. I'm not even a big Kyler guy. You guys tell me to believe in Kyler all the time. They got the best receiver in the game in Deandre Hopkins. If Cliff Kingsbury can put this offense together and they can put up these points and JJ helps the defense stop people more than they were last season, then they're right there with the Seahawks or the 49ers or even the Rams. I mean, I don't believe in Matt Stafford. So I think the Cardinals could easily take the division next year. JJ Watt definitely puts them in position to do that. I mean, it's really early to say, but a lot of things will happen in this offseason. And if the Cardinals keep improving, why couldn't they be a contender?
Hey, Ron, you beat me to my next question.
Hold on. Hopkins comes to the NFC West. Nothing. Jamal Adams comes to the NFC West.
Nothing.
Nothing. Jalen Ramsey comes to the NFC West.
Bro.
Nothing. Like, none of these moves, none of these huge splash moves put any one of these NFC West teams over the hump. I don't know why JJ Watt would be the guy to put the Cardinals over the hump, but none of these other big splashy moves in the NFC West put these teams over the hump. So
you're right. Jimmy Garoppolo comes to the NFC West
and went to the Super Bowl. He went to the Super Bowl.
And then that.
Yeah,
he went to the Super Bowl, lost to Pat. Lost to Pat. He's probably going. Is he your starter next year?
Yes.
Are we sure? We don't.
Yes.
It goes back and forth sometimes. I don't know.
Yes, I don't know. We might re-sign Alex Smith since you guys don't want him. Yeah, and Frank Gore get the gang back together and make another Super Bowl run. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want him.
I know Jimmy G and Trent Williams definitely ain't happy about JJ to the Cardinals. That's definitely fact.
That's another big splashy guy that, I mean, he helped. He was still elite, but it didn't put the 49ers over the hump. Like, assuming that you got to grab this one big piece and that's the guy that's going to be the piece. I don't know. When's the last time we seen that other than Brady?
Nah, bro. I think we've seen Brady is definitely the prime example. I think we have seen
Manning, Brady.
T.O. to Philly. T.O. went to Philly and they were right there.
That's a good one.
We've seen it happen, but I do think you make some good points, T. You know what I mean? And you guys kind of bring me to my next question. And that is, who's the top dog in the NFC West right now? I'm gonna start off because I do think on paper the Cardinals have the best squad right now. Like I said, you take away one guy, you add one guy to any of these teams in the league, you know what I mean? It could turn them from a contender to a pretender, right? But when I look at the Cardinals now, what's that?
On what paper?
I'm looking at the Cardinals right now. They'll have Kyler Murray, third year Kyler now. I definitely believe he's going to improve. I mean, he showed. I think he didn't have the MVP season. He started off hot, but he didn't have the long sustaining MVP season we thought he might. But you got to learn. He's in his third year now. I think this is the time where he's likely to explode, man. He's probably gonna go crazy this year. Deandre Hopkins led the league last season. You know what I'm saying? Like in a lot of receiver categories. I think receptions. I also think yards. After T said, what did he do for the Cardinals? And let's not act like the Cardinals were not in contention to the very end. They were in the hunt, literally in the hunt. So I think probably like the last week or week before the playoffs started. So it's not like the Cardinals are just super trash. I do think on paper they're the best team in the NFC West, especially with the 49ers quarterback situation in the air. I don't believe in Matt Stafford. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks probably got the best chance. Whenever you got Russ, you got a chance to be a great team. But it looks like some trouble in paradise over there. I think the Cardinals are top dog, man. Scrub, who do you think is the top dog in the NFC West right now?
Man, it's tough. Honestly, I think it's anybody's ball game. I think it's the most competitive division in football. I mean, we talked about it. I think the 49ers, it's really tough to call, bro, because like 49ers might be the best team in the division, or they might be the worst team in the division. I really can't put my finger on it. The Seahawks, I think, are a great team, but then they're talking about maybe trading Russell Wilson. So, like, they get rid of Russell Wilson. It's definitely not them. And then the Cardinals, I think, have a legit fighting chance. I think they could be a dark horse contender to win the division, possibly. I think they have a good shot. But I think the smart money is on the Rams. They did pretty well last year, I'd say. They performed very well. We talk about talent. Cream rises to the top. You got Jalen Ramsey. You got Aaron Donald. You have a strong defensive unit. You have a strong offensive system. And then you just went and you upgraded the quarterback position. I'm liking the Rams. I like the Rams as the best team in the division, but I like the Cardinals as maybe a wild card team. I think if I had to pick two teams to win the division, assuming that Russell Wilson is not in this division by the beginning of the season, I'm picking those two teams.
Look, man, this is what I know. Cliff Kingsbury has not won at any level. I don't know why it's going to start now. And the 49ers are obviously the team to beat. Last year they played without Bosa, who's a top 5 player in the league. They played without their quarterback. And this isn't me being a homer. This is me being realistic. Brandon Ayuk looked amazing in the 12 games we've seen him with backup quarterbacks. I don't know, man. I don't know. Kittle was hurt. Like, the 49ers were one of the most injury-plagued teams. And we're writing them off for Matt Stafford. And
Oh my God.
All right, sure.
Why do you even mention that guy?
I mean, if you believe in McVay, I saw it in one of the comments. If you believe in McVay and Stafford, that duo going to the Super Bowl, hey, God bless you.
I believe in a lot more than Jimmy Garoppolo, man. I don't want to make this a Matt Stafford conversation, bro.
I mean, my man started by saying Brandon Ayuk was amazing last season. So I already know any more homers. Brandon Ayuk was good, but amazing. Come on, bro.
Amazing.
Now Brandon Ayuk was amazing last year.
Look at the numbers.
Bro. Stop with the
Look at the numbers.
And I know Brandon Ayuk is my guy, but amazing he was not last season.
Oh, okay.
Good rookie year, but amazing not quite.
All right. Certain rookies didn't get the shine because they didn't have the quarterback play. CeeDee Lamb was amazing last year too.
Is he going to have the quarterback play if Garoppolo is healthy?
If Garoppolo is healthy, that's a play. If I'm not even gonna say if Garoppolo is healthy, man. If Bosa is healthy,
all right,
that pass rush has to be there. That's run first.
So trash.
Let's say the Seahawks keep Russell Wilson. Let's rank the quarterbacks in the NFC West. Russ, Kyler, Stafford, Jimmy G.
Sure.
Y'all the 49ers aren't going to compete in this division.
I'm not
even if you have all your.
But I mean, are you ranking the eyeball test or the guys that actually win games? Because I'm pretty sure Garoppolo has the best winning percentage.
There's something to be said about
over Russell Wilson. As long as the Seahawks got Russ, it's their division to lose. If Russ leaves the division, I can't believe I'm saying this, but if Russ does leave the division, I would go with the Rams, and not because of Matthew Stafford. And I know I'm probably going to get shit on this show for picking the Rams on anything with Matthew Stafford as the quarterback, but Sean McVay, in my opinion, has the number of all the coaches in the NFC West. He seems to pull off games and win games with less talent when he shouldn't be. So I would go with the Rams because of McVay, not because of Matthew Stafford.
I hear it, Ron. I hear
Are we
it.
just expecting that the Cardinals have shown no progression? I mean, Cliff Kingsbury first year, they were bad enough to be able to draft Isaiah Simmons. So I know they had to be around 4-12, maybe worse. Right?
Yeah.
Next year they go 8-8. So one more 4-game improvement would give them 12 wins, right? I mean, I don't know. I guess you guys are just saying that the Cardinals are not going to improve because Cliff Kingsbury didn't win in college when he was a college coach. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
The guy went from 4-12 to 8-8. I'm expecting at least 10 wins this year. And if I don't see that, then I'll be disappointed in not only Kingsbury but Kyler Murray too. And then I'll say J.J. Watt was worth no wins. But J.J. Watt added that team, man, at least 2 more wins, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're in the mix for sure.
It's not going to be what JJ does for the Cardinals. It's going to be what the Cardinals can do for JJ.
Facts. Big facts.
That's very accurate.
But JJ might be good for a strip sack to get him the W. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So let's keep it pushing away from all this JJ Watt conversation. Let's move on to one of my more favorite segments that we do, the good old this or that NFL edition, man. And it's the over the hill edition of this or that. We're going with 2 quarterbacks that some people think should hang them up. Some people might not. We'll see who you guys take, man. So it's Drew Brees or Big Ben Roethlisberger. Wrong. Starting with you, sir. Who you taking to start next season? Very next season, not overall career. We talking about if you had to pick one to start for you next year, who you rolling with?
If I had to pick a QB for 2021, and we're talking Big Ben or Drew Brees, oh man, I might sign Alex Smith with his one leg, bro. This is, in all honesty, man, what's left in the tank? Drew Brees is a lawnmower at this point, and not even the ride joint. He's the push joint, the old joint. I don't know if some of the younger viewers even know what those are. That's how old Drew Brees is. Big Ben, I guess if I have to pick, man, I would go with Ben. I just feel like the last 2 seasons, in all seriousness, Drew Brees didn't even finish the seasons. He had another quarterback come in and keep the team afloat. Big Ben got hurt at the start of last season, couldn't finish it, or the 2 seasons ago. And then he was pretty good last season, seemed to die out at the end. Drew Brees has been dying out at the end of the season for the last 4 or 5 seasons. Ah, man, this is a horrible question, bro. I guess I'm going to go with Big Ben for 12 games until December comes, and then whoever's on my bench is coming in.
Yeah. It's not a horrible question. It's a this or that. T Boogie, we're going to you, man. Who you taking, bro? Drew or Big Ben?
I mean, to me, it's not so much of which quarterback I'm taking. I feel like they're both. Brees' arm appears to be gone, but he also had a rib injury or something. I like what the Saints have more than I like what Pittsburgh has at this point. So I'm going with Brees to just game manage, hand the ball off, throw a couple slants to Slant Boy, and get some wins. Let the team just manage the game.
I feel you. And I've never heard that nickname Slant Boy, but that is hilarious. Scrub, Drew Brees or Big Ben?
Man, I was just thinking about this the other day when I was watching the news, and they said that Drew Brees is most likely Drew Brees is going to come back. I remember thinking to myself, like, man, if I was the GM of the Saints, I'd be like, bro, just stay home, bro. Just stay home, bro. Just stay home, bro. Honestly, if I was the GM for either team, I'd tell them both to stay home. Maybe I'm disrespectful. Somebody going to be mad at them. Somebody going to be in the comments saying something about something, telling them I'm saying I'm disrespectful about both of these quarterbacks. But, truthfully, I wouldn't start the season with either of them. But, if I had to pick, all right, you come down to it. I look down to it. I looked at the numbers, man. The numbers tell me that Big Ben actually had the most touchdowns in his entire career last season. So I like that. That's a nice little statistic. That's a nice little nugget for me. That means to tell me the flows are still flowing pretty good for Big Ben. 30-plus touchdowns at this age. I'm taking Big Ben, man. I'm taking Big Ben. I don't care what system you put him in. I'm taking Big Ben. And then also at the end of the day, he just a big homie. You know what I'm saying? He got the clutch factor. He's done it before, and you know what I'm saying? at the end of the day, if his arm's going to give out on him, he's still 6'4", and he's still a load. So, there he's got that going for him. So, I'm going Big Ben.
Yeah. I feel like that is the correct answer on this or that. Sorry, T. But yeah, I got to go Big Ben too, man. I feel like Big Ben, midway through last season, people were talking about MVP for Big Ben. Let's keep it a buck. 30 touchdowns, just 10 picks. We kind of alluded to it earlier. Great quarterbacks, not just great quarterbacks, but good quarterbacks make players around them better. T pointed out the fact that Ayuk had an amazing season based on the fact that who was throwing on the football, right? Well, Chase Claypool had a hell of a season last year too. And I don't know if that rookie stands out, as a third, fourth round pick. I don't know if he stands out as early as he did without a veteran quarterback like Big Ben chucking it to him. Yeah. I got to go Big Ben on this. Like I said, man, halfway through the season, we were talking MVP talk, man. How fast they do fall off, but that can happen when you're an older quarterback. I also think with Drew Brees, I'm not so ready to write him off like it seems everyone else is. Like you guys said, he had a rib injury. I can imagine that throwing a football with a rib injury is not easy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that because Drew Brees hasn't really made guys better the last, year or two. But, if he comes back to, 70% of what he used to be, I think Drew Brees can get the Saints back on track. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make another run at it. The Saints are another kind of like ready-built team, I feel like, where, if you just plug somebody in that can just manage the game more or less, they can still go far. I think Drew is still good enough to manage the game, but he is shot putting that thing down the field right now. That thing ugly, boy. That thing is ugly. So anybody else got any more? Oh, go ahead, Ron. My bad.
I think we're just missing some key factors here. We keep talking about this rib injury and how it made it hard for Drew Brees. Like, you got the rib injury this season. The season before that, you got the thumb injury. That same year, Ben Roethlisberger had an elbow injury, took him out, non-contact injury. He comes back with a beard longer than T, a belly looking like he Santa Claus. Like, these dudes are old men, bro. Like, get out the league. Like, Tom Brady's doing it the right way. Tom Brady don't be having these random injuries. Drew Brees hit his hand on somebody's helmet, broke his damn thumb, out for weeks. Like, they're holding these franchises hostage. And I mean, somebody on the show's got to say it. Big Ben and Drew Brees need to go. They both need to go. It's done. It's over. It's been a nice career. You're messing the Steelers up for the long run. That's what Ben's doing. Drew wants to be on video pushing a sled. Come on, man. Like give somebody else a turn, man. Let me see what Taysom Hill can do. Let Jameis eat some W's or some L's or whatever he eats, but get Drew out of here. I'm done with it.
Nah, man. I'll tell you one thing, yo. Big Ben, man. Just like Brett Favre, bro. I think Big Ben got that. He got that Wrangler jeans mystique to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that man gonna be slanging them for years, bro. Like, don't be Big Ben, bro.
No, I mean, I agree that Big Ben has more left in the tank, but at his age, with what the Steelers have at O-line, they have no running game. If you look, Big Ben checked the ball down way more than we've ever seen him. Not that he can't push it downfield, but he's not getting pass protection. That's got to check it down. So I just think if they both come back healthy, the Saints have a more realistic shot. Drew Brees has a more realistic pathway to success. If Lamar Jackson is the guy you're telling me he is, if the Browns are really here to stay, what does that mean for Pittsburgh?
All I know is I would ask you the same question week 10 last year before the Steelers played my Washington football team. Everybody was on board. Everybody was loving the Steelers. Everybody was looking like they were a contender. And don't get me wrong, things change quick, but I just can't go as far to say that Big Ben should be out the league, man. Not that I like the guy or anything, but Big Ben out the league? Like, I mean, I watched those games to the end of the season. I saw Deontay Johnson dropping passes. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I remember Juju being hurt. It would have felt like every other game. You know what I mean? Juju Smith got some sort of injury or some sort of issue. I don't know, man. I'm not ready to just write Big Ben off, bro. Scrub, I think he might be onto something. He got that Wrangler in him, man. I think Big Ben still got a late run in him.
The thing with Favre and Ben when it comes to the Wranglers is Favre didn't have to go up a size in the offseason, bro. Big Ben, his size during the season and the offseason is different, bro. Like, that man be putting on pounds, man. Come on.
That's how you know you could trust it, though, because no matter what weight he comes in, he always comes in, he ball out. That's how
You got
know it
Brady
don't
eating
matter.
avocado ice cream, and Big Ben is just out here like, come on, no. He's gonna fall off a cliff, and it's
eating
probably gonna be
hungry
next
man.
season.
Eating hungry man home dinners, man. You remember those?
No, I mean it's crazy. This is a weird time, right? I don't know if we've seen a time like this where a bunch of quarterbacks that were like really, really elite. It's the end of the road for them. You know, it's time for them to walk off to the sunset. Normally, you know, you saw Peyton have his year, you saw Favre have his year after year after year. You know, all them times he retired and came back. But now you got a couple guys that's ready to go. Next, we're gonna see Matt Ryan's and a couple other guys. I don't think. They say Stafford has another 5-6 years. I don't believe it, but it's interesting. We don't really get to see a lot of the great quarterbacks kind of just all start leaving together. Even Cam looks to be a little, to me, at the end. So, you know, it's a different time period. It's just kind of interesting to see how it plays out for different quarterbacks and, you know, how and why they leave.
You're right, T. I think one thing it comes down to for quarterbacks is velocity, arm velocity. You know, once you lose it, you know, you don't get it back. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I say about Matt Stafford. He was chuckling and shit.
He can still throw
Matt Stafford, he got that zang on that thing, boy. That's all I know.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact, man.
I don't know, bro. I saw Big Ben chucking them things to Claypool early in the season, 60-yard bombs, and dropping them in the bucket for Tud. So, I mean, maybe the long 16-game season wore at him. It ain't gonna help because it's 17 now. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see about Big Ben.
Keep that heating pad ready in December.
Nah, facts.
He got one.
You got to have the old man kid on the sideline for him.
All right, man. Well, let's shift away from sports for a little bit, man. We killed it with the sports today. So let's go to something that we all love. I don't know if you didn't watch this, you were under a rock. One of my favorite television shows of all time. It is Game of Thrones, man. We're all big Game of Thrones fans here. And we want to discuss some of our favorite Game of Thrones moments, man. What are your best Game of Thrones moments? It doesn't have to be like, you know, the obvious. It can be something a little random, you know, but it was so many moments in that show that I'm ready to get it popping. Rome, I'm starting with you, man. You put the timeout out. What's up, bro?
I got to throw the timeout, man. I can't let you lie to the people, man. Like, I'm looking around and I'm trying to find a rock because I must have been living under one because I am not a Game of Thrones guy. I'm gonna let you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna let you guys know that now. I hear it's a good show. You know, everybody I know talks about it all the time. But I am the one person at the job that is not in on the Game of Thrones. So I'm very interested in this topic. Maybe there'll be something that you guys say that I haven't heard that'll interest me in this dragon world that Game of Thrones is. But you know, let me hear some of the best moments, man. Maybe some of these best moments will convince me to finally check this show out.
Yeah, give him a little context too, T. Give him a little context.
I don't know if I want to talk because all these moments about to be spoilers. They all spoilers. Like, I don't want to spoil it for you. Like, it's that good of a show. You know what I'm saying? In fact, turn your camera off and clean up for the night. Like, all right, man. So with that being said, I'm gonna give you one of my favorite early moments. All right, and a little context. I mean, the story starts off with basically. I don't even want to give you no context because the whole world has seen it. I'm wasting time. Basically, one of my favorite early moments was when they tossed my man Bran off the top of the tower. You know what I'm saying? And why would that be one of my favorite moments? Because it's not because it's a kid breaking his back and getting paralyzed, but it's because the show was willing to take it there in episode 1. And I always feel like a great hero, you heard me say on the show plenty of times, a great hero needs a great villain. So no matter how much you love the good guys, you need bad guys that are willing to be really, really bad. And pushing a kid off of a tower because he witnessed incest, that's pretty bad to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go. My man was paralyzed, man. He was branded broken. So that's one of my favorite moments. That's when I knew, all right, I'm going to like this show. They're willing to go past traditional boundaries and harm children, you know, as bad as that sounds.
Classic moment. Scrub, what you thinking, man? You brewing over there?
Yeah. Nah, when I was making my notes for the show, I was having a hard time coming up with them. And I knew that when we talked, that something was gonna be like inspirational to come to me. So it was like just like you said. So season 1, like your moment when it was like, dang, they really just did that. that moment for me was when what's my man's name, man? OG Stark. You feel me? OG Stark.
You talking about Ned Stark?
Yes, Ned Stark. He's been gone for so long. I didn't forgot his name. Ned Stark was doing what he had to do as the dude that was in charge of the North, and he had to basically he had to off dude because the dude was disloyal or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And he just straight up just sliced dude, and he's like, yo. He went over to Brand and he was like, look, make sure you watch and make sure he don't turn away or nothing like that either. Like, make sure he watch and just slice dude up in front of his son. And son was just like, dang. Like, yeah, he remembered that, Joe. That was crazy. I was like, oh, okay, this is different. And, like, he was very proud about it. And he was like, look, this is the way it had to be done. This is the order of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, he laid down the law. And I was like, dang. Like, with straight conviction, because at the time I'm looking at him watching it, I'm like, man, this is nuts. But real talk, though, the way he held that down with conviction, I respected it. You know, Ned Stark made me respect it. He showed me a lot. You know, actually one of my favorite characters, R.I.P.
That's a fact. That's a fact. If I ever change my last name, it's gonna be Stark, baby. Winterfell.
Nah, yeah. Ned was a real one, bro. Ned was a real one. I don't think his homie was a real one too. What was the dude's? What was Joffrey's dad's name?
Robert Baratheon.
Rob Baratheon, man. That only reason I say that is because that Warhammer was something serious, bro. But getting to one of my favorite moments, it might be my favorite moment. I don't know. I feel like I could probably flip flop on this every week. But man, I always wondered what was wrong with that. With Hodor, bro. I used to look at Hodor like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, why is all he says Hodor? But when my man held the door, bro, just hold the door. Hold the door. That was a huge reveal. I was like, bro, that's crazy. Not only was it like just a crazy moment because he was holding the door and like all those scoundrels was trying to get through, but it's also wild to think about how strong Bran's time traveling powers were, that he could go, in the past, essentially gave him this speech issue, right? Based off something he did well into the future. Right. Like, it's just crazy that the way that whole thing worked out, man. It was kind of wild to me. Definitely one of my favorite moments, man. I can still hear him. And I only watch Game of Thrones one time through. That's kind of how I do all the things that I feel like are classic shows. I might watch the whole series again, but if there was one episode I wanted to watch again, it was that Hodor episode, because that joint was nuts, man.
Man, look, I've seen it twice now. It's always, to me, it's better on the second watch because now you know who's who. At first it's kind of hard to piece everything together, but that second watch was amazing. But it's kind of crazy that we all mentioned something with Bran. And a lot of people, spoiler alert, was shocked at how it ended. But if you think about it, they kind of brung that thing full circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about Bran's storyline, even though they took him away for a season randomly, you know what I'm saying? But,
he was on his mission. He was on his mission that time.
Man, I don't know what he was doing. Going through puberty in real life, who knows? But it's kind of cool how they run that thing full circle. But there's so many moments we can talk about, man. Most of my moments are like, wow, crazy moments, man. Like when Stannis killed his daughter. When he burned her at the stake.
Oh my gosh, bro, that was wild, bro. That was wild.
Like I said,
and he used to act like he loved her, bro.
He did love her. He did, but he wanted that throne, man. That throne, man. That power. He listened to the Red Witch.
Man, speaking of the Red Witch, one of my crazier moments was when she was in the mirror and she looked back and just turned into a can of busted biscuits. I was like, dang, Red Witch, sloppy, old, fat. Like, hey, that threw me off, bro. Like, we knew it was some sort of magical thing going on with her. But when they turned that camera, her old, wrinkly body was there. I was like, oh, no, man. The Red Witch got them all fooled, man. Shout out to the Red Witch, though, because, I don't know, it seemed like I never believed in her. She would always say, I can do this and it'll work. And a lot of her shit ended up working, bro.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
except my man getting the throne.
Yeah, that one ain't go too well for my man. What's y'all craziest? Like, there was a lot of crazy deaths, like a lot of crazy fights. Y'all got a crazy battle, a death, something y'all like more than the other?
Man, the Joan where they killed all the Starks basically was one of the wildest.
The Red Wedding.
I know I don't be having the names and everything
Yeah.
down, but yeah, when they
Classic TV moment.
when they kill all of Bran's brothers and sisters, they killed, because that I never really liked that Stark. I don't remember his name, but he was like the oldest one. I didn't really like Rob. I wasn't really a fan of Rob. I never really liked how he moved. I wasn't really a fan, so like I wasn't surprised when he died, but I was shocked when he died because what it meant for everybody else, especially the mom. I really felt for the mom out of all characters. I felt for the mom because, like she lost her husband. Like, she had to deal with this bastard son. You got this Theon Greyjoy motherfucker running around. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a whole bunch of bad stuff. And your boy done got paralyzed. You know what I'm saying? The kids is all running all over the place. You don't know what's going on, bro. Like, it's rough for you. And then, like, gonna lose your, that was really, 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 really bad. That was one of the worst. Oh, and then also the joint when Arya goes back and avenges them. That joint was even harder. What are you talking about? That was like the beginning of the season, I think. Opens up, she did the many face thing, and then just had everybody fooled thinking it was the other dude, and then off them all. Like, one of the hardest scenes in the history of Game of Thrones was definitely that one right there.
Like she actually fed my man his family.
Yeah.
Like
that was vicious. That was actually that. I was actually gonna say that one next. So now I gotta switch my moment up when it comes to these deaths. But let's get away from the human deaths, man. One of the best deaths in the whole show was my man lining that thing up. My man, hey, bro, he threw that spear like it didn't take any effort. He just that Drake went flying, man. Hit the dragon. I think it was it in the neck? Wherever it hit the dragon, man, the dragon came flying down, looking like more like a dragonfly than a dragon. But the best part of that whole thing was when they pulled him out the water and that eye opened up and that eye was blue. Oh, we all knew what time it was, bro. I think that was low-key one of my favorite moments. I can literally remember being on the couch going crazy when the eye opened up blue. I was like, oh, they got a dragon. They got a dragon. Because, bro, a dragon, that changes the game, bro. That's like having the queen in chess, man. If I take your queen, it's over for you. That dragon was like a pivotal piece, man.
Man, that was a crazy moment, man. I mean, anytime that they showed that daggone White Walkers, the whole army, the first time when the Night King rose everybody from the dead up, you remember that scene? They had to escape on a boat, man. Bro, I don't know. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Apparently, I'm missing out on dragons and White Walkers and Red Witches.
I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like something out of Harry Potter book.
The White Walker joint, bro. The thing about the White Walkers is that they did such a great job, like leading up to the story of the White Walkers. Because like you go like a whole good chunk of like the whole first season, and like you're not even you heard about White Walkers, but you're not concerned with them. You're just like, yeah, whatever. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, whatever.
Winter is coming.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. This ain't shit. Whatever. Oh, some crop circles and some shit, like some dead bodies and shit. Okay, whatever. And then you seen that motherfucker. He was like, oh shit. These joints are crazy. You know what I'm saying? So like I was like, wow. And then like
what's crazy to me is as someone who's never even watched the show and listening to y'all, the dude Scruff mentioned first, Ned Stark. I've heard that name so many damn times, bro. Like that character clearly is vicious as hell. Cause I've never even seen an episode and I've heard that name multiple times. Like that's familiar.
The craziest thing about that, bro, is that he was only alive for the first season. I know I'm gonna spoil that, but like, he's only alive for the first season.
That's wild. Yeah, that's why he's clearly impactful.
I'm kind of taking it back. Impactful.
He laid the foundation for the show because if that Stark didn't die, the whole shit wouldn't have turned out the way it didn't turn out. Everything happened because Ned Stark died. Ned Stark was the beginning of the ruckus beginning. It was like, okay, Ned Stark had died. Now the whole world's about to get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if someone's death could do that for our world. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's Kobe. Assassinate Donald Trump or some shit.
That's basically what happened with Kobe. Kobe died and the whole world with the shit. But I'm a little taken aback, man, looking at listening to Rome say he didn't watch Game of Thrones. Just judging off what Rome has watched on every "What Are You Watching" segment, it feels like Game of Thrones will be right up your alley, man. I think one of the wildest things about Game of Thrones is how many characters you know. Like if you watch Game of Thrones, you legitimately know over 100 characters. You might not realize it, but you know 100 people just off a show. Another thing I think was great about the show was the relationships between each individual characters. Like you didn't just know the characters, but you knew their relationship, and you could kind of relate it to possibly something in your own life, even though it's totally different times, right? They're like in medieval times, but it's like the way the character development and the relationship development was some of the best I've ever seen in a series, man.
Facts, bro. Because you had people that was meeting for the first time season 6 or 7, and you've been following them since the whole show. So like the first time you have like fucking Arya meeting like Daenerys Targaryen, you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
you've been watching this shit the whole time.
I mean, it's honestly hard to put into words. Like you said, like how many people you actually know when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? How many little characters that in most shows would be obscure, but they have a whole purpose, man. The way I think the best thing about Game of Thrones, which was kind of ruined because it's not finished as a book series, was how well they pieced this huge puzzle together, man. Like it's stuff in season 1 that relates to season 7 that relates to season 2. Like you got to go back and forth in time to like it's so many family members. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just a great show. All of those. I don't want to hit from Rome.
Who is that guy? Yeah.
Rome, go ahead. Hey, Rome, go ahead and say sports for the culture, man.
I'll say this, Rome. No matter what you've seen in your life, right? When you finish this series, you're gonna put it in your top 2, not 3. You're gonna put it in your top 2.
Ooh, and I think we just got an idea for our next top 5. Think you on to something, T?
Yeah.
Think you on to something?
Yeah, I'll put it top 2.
Top 2. Damn, now y'all got me really debate. We about to have a top 5 series live on air. No, I need to think about that. But it's up there,
top
bro.
Top 2 is easy, bro. Top 2 is easy.
It's around to be 1, but it's going. I'm going back and forth between that and Breaking Bad in my head right now. Breaking Bad.
It's between that and The Wire, bro.
The Wire.
The Wire. The Wire. I love The Wire, but I put Breaking Bad over The Wire.
Breaking Bad. This is my thing about Breaking Bad, man. The first 2 seasons are super slow and super boring. In fact, nobody really watched that show on AMC. It picked up when Netflix picked it up.
Yeah.
Once people could binge it, people loved it. And I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this about TV shows that people don't recognize. Shows that you can binge automatically get a little bit of advantage. If you had to watch some of these shows that people have binged week by week, you would not have kept watching.
That's a great point. That's a great point. But if I'm being honest, I binged The Wire. You know what I'm saying? I watched it years ago. But when The Wire came out, I was still legit. You know what I'm saying? And it was a great show, excellent show. But Breaking Bad does it for me, and I feel you. It did take a minute to heat up, but Breaking Bad had me from the moment the kids was making fun of his son in the mall. My man stormed back in. Put him on the ground, make fun of my man now. And that joint had me hooked from that moment, man. I love that show. I probably still got to put Game of Thrones ahead of it. There's probably something else I'm missing.
Go back and watch Breaking Bad. That's
why I don't do that. That's why I only watch it once, bro. It stays in the memory bank. That's where I want it.
Bro, that season 1 is so bad, man. It's so bad. You probably don't even remember, man, how my man threw the drugs and it exploded at that it was crazy, man.
Yeah, and I think although I wasn't as disappointed with Game of Thrones ending as most people, I kind of thought it was kind of dope. But I think I was a little disappointed with Breaking Bad's ending. I will say that a little more disappointed than I was with Game of Thrones. I was like, it just left me wanting more.
Really?
Yeah, definitely, bro. I felt like it was just like such an climatic death. It was just like he just died, bro. It was like
you giving big spoilers tonight, baby.
My bad, bro. If you ain't watched these 2 shows,
you ain't watched Breaking Bad.
These shows are already. It's already happened.
There's got to be a statute of limitations on spoilers, man. If you ain't seen the show within 2 years, too bad.
You're beat. By the time you get through the 5-6 seasons, you probably forgot I even told you that shit.
That's a fact too.
But if you want to watch it, man, Game of Thrones is never a bad one to pick up, man. I recommend it to everybody, and everybody I've ever recommended to, they loved it. So I mean, this is one of those. It's a consensus great show, man.
That's why that's my number one show, because everybody likes it, right? My man, that's the plug. My man, that's the buyer. The people that stormed the Capitol.
That's a fact.
The people in other countries, like everybody came together, put their differences aside, and said, "Hey, man." Oh my God.
Nah, facts, bro. It was wilding. They was wilding in the RV.
Oh man.
Go ahead, bro.
Hilarious, man.
But yeah, man, Game of Thrones is one of them shows. I don't care what walk of life you're from, you enjoyed it, and it put fantasy on the map. It's like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and all that, but like better.
Word.
Debatable, but it was great. It was great.
No, it's better.
I'm a Lord of the Rings guy, man.
It's a Daniel's son. Like I hate that, because Daniel's son was eventually gonna get better than Miyagi. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's true.
The pupil can be better than the master. You know what I'm saying? He's Tolkien inspired. George R.R. Martin or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But I think he did a little better. I think he pieced the puzzle together a little bit better. I mean, think about this. The Dothraki,
he had a lot more time, but
he did. The Dothraki got their own language.
Yeah.
Word. That's deep.
Like,
that's deep.
A legit language. You know what I'm saying? So.
Where George R.R. Martin, New Jersey, stand up. You know, we breed creatives. You feel me? That's all I know.
Tolkien versus Martin, man. Can we get a versus battle? J.R.R. Tolkien versus George Martin, whatever his name is. That's the next versus battle. Your top 5 battle scenes. That's how we judge.
All I know is Jon Snow would have punished Frodo.
Hey, go ahead, bro. Yeah, he would have. But my man, what's my man with the white hair, bro? I want to call him.
Talking about Ganondorf? No, what's his name?
Not Gandalf. Nah. What was that dude's name with the white hair? You know what I'm talking about, though. He might have got Jon Snow out the way. Would have been a hell of a battle. Man. Hey, Frodo was like what, like 5'2"? Yeah. Jon Snow.
No, he was smaller than that. He was
Jon Snow versus anybody in the battle scene. Jon Snow versus anybody, bro.
No. Jon Snow can't beat Fred.
Can't be who?
Fred. Y'all ain't hip. All y'all know is Game of Thrones, man.
No, you literally can't hear me.
Yeah.
I think your mic hit your time limit.
T-Mike times out 12 a.m. His mic is bro. You won't be using tonight, bro. What are you doing?
We passed your time limit. It is past time limit.
And my battery is on 10% though.
Yeah, no, that's how it is. Right. That laptop battery start to fall. That stream start to drop off.
That joint start getting quieter. That's how you know it's about to go down.
Hey, but that just means it's time to wrap up another lit episode, man. Hey, what Rome said at the beginning is 46 in the book. Golly, that sounds like a lot, man. Especially if we do it every week. You know what it means, fellas? We almost to a year. We gotta do something special for that year anniversary, man. Shout out to everybody that's been along with us for the ride, man. I feel like it's only gotten better. You guys are the ultimate judges, so let us know where we can improve on the show, or things that you would like to see us talk about, man. We always open to suggestions. If you're not following us at GoodAssSports, you're making a big mistake, because there's always things popping off over at the Gas Sports Network. Download the Gas Sports Network app. It's everywhere you can get an app, except the smart TV. But we coming, smart TV. You can be able to get your gas content everywhere you can imagine. Man, hell of an episode, fellas. Looking forward to the next one. And like we always do, fellas, sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.